Welcome travelers. It seems like Archetype are putting their money where their mouth is. Not too long ago, they released a long-awaited gameplay trailer. So without further ado, the Exodus gameplay trailer, full breakdown. I will start by saying that this trailer is chock full of nice little tidbits and interesting details, and that my personal impression of it is positive. The trailer is good and showcases various things that gives understanding of the gameplay, the world of Exodus, lore, and also the inhabitants of said world. Let's start off with one of the most important things about any RPG game, the main protagonist. We know that the main character of Exodus will be June Aslan, and that it has been confirmed that you can play as either male or female, depending on how you want to play. My general impression of June is that he comes across as a bit young and kind of cocky.
Got away with celestial tech.
But not in a bad way. He also seems to have a bit of sass to him, with some good, witty humor. It is important to note that in any RPG game that has a fixed protagonist, even though you can change their appearance and influence their choices, that the protagonist will have certain definitive personality traits to them. And in June's case, he is bold, confident, and as earlier mentioned, a bit cocky. Although I will point out, as it is an important detail, that it looks like he can back that up, and that the confidence seems well earned. Now let's move on to one of the most important parts of the trailer. In the first scene here, we can see June and an unknown woman traveling through space, where the woman mentions, after preparing for transfer, that this is your last chance to bail June. This could either mean that she's referring to transferring him to a planet for a pivotal moment in the story, or it could mean that they are about to make use of a Heaven's Gate, which is basically interstellar traveling gates connecting to one another that allows for ships to nearly instantaneously accelerate to 99.9% of light speed, which promotes time dilation for the people that you leave behind. Another very interesting thing revealed in the trailer is the use of Livestone. Livestone is a form of organic stone that is a silicate-based bioware, no pun intended, that can be sculpted into almost any form by a user who has so-called neural induction paths. It is normally used to form structures and buildings, but in this frame right here, we can see June, who has the ability to manipulate Livestone due to his celestial ancestry, using it as a weapon. He freezes the enemy in place with the stone and then shatters it, which is a very cool use of this ability in this universe. Something else that is interesting is the Gauntlet that he uses. You will see this Gauntlet being used multiple times in the trailer. To explain what it is, the Gauntlet is most likely a piece of celestial tech that June has inherited or found and is capable of using due to his unique ancestry of being the child of a human and a celestial. The Gauntlet does in a way have a bit of a resemblance to an Omni tool from Mass Effect, but I believe that it is much more than that, as the Gauntlet seems to give him access to various powers, which we can see some of them being used in the trailer. It doesn't seem like everybody can use it like an Omni tool, and you only see June wielding the Gauntlet. I believe that this is most likely because he probably inherited it from his father, Orion, who was a legendary traveler, and much like an Omni tool, he has uses both in and outside of combat. The developers have confirmed that it can be upgraded in the game to further enhance its abilities. Here we can see that June is meeting up with other travelers. A traveler is a space explorer that searches for unique pieces of tech from previous and alien civilizations by using the Gates of Heaven, which allows them to travel near light speed, which gives them the name Travelers. Now here we see June meeting up with someone that has been previously introduced as Elie Charoux. Elie has been confirmed to be a companion in the game, that has just recently been awakened from a long term of deep sleep or suspended animation, and she is a recent arrival. Her thing is the mech that she uses in combat, which is basically a gigantic battlesuit. She is described as a mercenary and a weapons expert, with a biting sarcastic sense of humor that disguises a deep-seated sense of loss. Now at first glance, she might come across as a character that is quote-unquote woke, but I do not believe that this is the case. I think that it is highly possible that there is more to this character than meets the eye, and I will be making a deep dive video about that later. But I want you to pay attention to the line sarcastic sense of humor that disguises a deep-seated sense of loss. She comes across as a bit cocky, and while I would imagine that mercenaries would in general want to keep their haircuts short, I can't say that I like this one. This looks to be the first time that June and her meet in the game, and also other additional travelers, whose name we do not know yet. Deploy tactical bears. This is obviously a bear, but as you can see, not just any kind of bear. It is a so-called awakened bear, which is a type of animal that is genetically modified and can sometimes possess human levels of intelligence. But in this case, you can see that it has been enhanced for both size, strength, and most definitely combat. We can also see here, in this almost iconic action scene, that June's Gauntlet has something similar to an Omni blade, just like the Omni tool. And it is obvious that the Gauntlet is inspired by Mass Effect, but it seems to be in a good way. The fight with the bear also confirms that we will have a lot of combat mobility, as you can see here, where June has some kind of grappling line that he uses to get to higher ground. This is definitely going to make combat interesting. You will not just be locked down on the ground, and that you can use the grappling line to reach elevated ground for tactical advantage and potentially even ambushes and strikes from above. It is also shown in this trailer and elsewhere that June can use this grappling tool outside of combat to traverse areas, cross gaps, descend, or reach elevated places. The frog here is another example of an awakened animal, which are almost always cognitively enhanced and, as previously mentioned, sometimes as intelligent as humans. You can see the frog communicating with June either through or with a second larger frog, and there will definitely be many more of the awakened animals. The trailer also shows a large variety of enemies, such as mechs, robots, and also human enemies. We also get cutscenes where June says, "You should have been on it," and also one where he confronts an old man that mentions this place is forbidden. We don't really know where this is, but as a traveler, you often end up visiting places that you are not really supposed to be in. The novel, The Archimedes Engine, and also the short stories on the official websites fully displays this, meaning that there are worlds that have been abandoned either because they were nuked to extinction or seemingly livable planets being pure death traps. Link to short story in description. Or some planets containing dark secrets and potentially unspeakable horrors that you have to be insane to visit. And most likely, in this scene where June confronts the old man, June is not supposed to be there. Probably because it is very dangerous, and that it potentially could contain vital but dangerous information that is not meant to be discovered. These are just a few things that we can see in this trailer, and there are still a lot more unknowns about the game, but it looks promising. And if things keep going in this direction, I can easily say that Exodus, as long as Wizards of the Coast keep their end of the contract and don't meddle, will be an amazing game. I am planning to make videos on both the awakened animals and some of the background lore of Exodus after this video. So if you want to know more about these things and enjoy this type of content, I invite you to subscribe for more. And also thank you for watching. I hope that you had a good time. Till next time, traveler.